Hello again, everyone. This is a review of Series 5, Page 2 of the Countdown to Math Star. Question 1. Which figure is a trapezoid? Okay, so we've talked about this quite a bit in the last several videos. A trapezoid is a special kind of quadrilateral. Remember, quadrilaterals are four-sided shapes. And what makes a trapezoid special is that it has only one pair of parallel sides. Okay, so if we look at answer choice A, we can see that there are two pairs. There's one pair of parallel sides, and here's the second pair of parallel sides. This would be a parallelogram, not a trapezoid. So A is not our answer. Okay, looking at B, look very carefully. We have a gap here. That gap means that this is not a closed shape. This is just some line segments on a plane, okay? That is not a geometrical shape. So B cannot be my answer. Answer choice C also has two pair of parallel sides, one pair, and there is the second pair, making C a parallelogram as well. Okay, answer choice D, that's our trapezoid. Here's the pair of parallel sides right there, okay? It's pretty obvious to see that these two sides are not parallel because they are going to intersect, okay? So this would be our trapezoid, and that's our answer, okay? Number 2. The models below represent the amounts of food that two dogs have in their 1-quart bowls. Change that to the number 2. Okay, here is Sargent's amount. I'm going to go ahead and label the pieces. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pieces in total. So that is my denominator, 9 pieces total. And you can see that I have 8 shaded. That's my numerator. Okay, so Sargent has 8/9 of food in his 1-quart bowl. Maxie has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 7, 8, 9. 6 out of 9, or 6/9 of a bowl of food. The question says, how much more? Okay, I teach my kids a little saying, and it goes, how many more of this than that tells me that I must subtract. That means this is a comparison question and I need to subtract. Okay, so I need to take the 8/9 in Sargent's bowl and subtract the 6/9 in Maxie's bowl, and that gives me 2/9. Remember, when we're subtracting fractions with like denominators, our denominator stays the same. We don't change that. We only subtract in the numerator, and the reason that is because the wholes are still cut into 9 pieces, okay? If I subtracted 9 minus 9, that would be 0, and that would mean there's no pieces in the whole, but there are, okay? That's why we do not subtract the denominators, only the numerators, okay? So answer choice G shows us the correct answer. Okay, number 3. Multi-step problem. All right, 4 students, change that to the number 4, are counting and comparing the numbers of stickers they have on their notebooks. Okay, so Gail has 7 stickers. Okay, so I'm gonna put a G for Gail is equal to 7. There's nothing you needed to figure out there. Gail has 7, okay? Next it says Dave has twice as many as Gail. You have to remember that twice means to multiply times 2, or 2 times something. Okay, so to find Dave's, D for Dave, is equal to 2 times what Gail's amount is, which is 7. Okay, so when I multiply 2 times 7, that is going to give me 14. So Dave has 14. Okay, next clue, Saul, I'm going to use the letter S for Saul, has 3 times as many as Dave. Okay, times again means to multiply, but this time we're multiplying 3 times. Okay, and we want to multiply 3 times Dave's amount. Well, here's Dave's amount right here. So I'm going to multiply 3 times 14. Okay, when I multiply 3 times 14, that's going to give me 42. Okay, now for Alexa. All right, Alexa has half as many as Saul does. Okay, got to remember what the word half means. Half means to divide by 2. So I need to take Saul's amount, which we said was 42, and divide it by 2, divide it in half. Okay, so when I do that, okay, 42 divides evenly by 2. If I divide 4 divided by 2, that's going to give me 2. Okay, and when I divide 2 divided by 2, that gives me 1. So Alexa has 21 stickers in her notebook. Okay, so that would be answer choice A. Okay, number 4. The list shows yesterday's high temperatures in the United States, in 10 United States cities. Which stem and leaf plot represents the information on the lists? All right, so we have some stem and leaf plots here. Stem and leaf plots are a rather new concept. I did not learn this whenever I was in school. We didn't learn dot plots. This is something new, okay? But it kind of makes sense if you really think about it, okay? If we think in terms of stems and leaves, typically a stem is larger than a leaf is, okay? So on a stem and leaf plot, your stems represent the larger place values. In this case, the 10s. And the leaves represent the 1s, or the 1s place, okay? So the way that a stem and leaf plot is set up is it's organized in order from least at the very top to greatest stem at the very bottom. And for leaves, they're set up with the very least leaf to the left and the greatest leaf to the right. So they go from least to greatest, okay? All right, so the reason that we use these stem and leaf plots is to organize a set of data, okay? And they've given us a set of data up here, okay? They're the high temperatures of 10 United States cities. Okay, so it just allows us to put them in an organized fashion, okay, from least to greatest. So the easiest way to do this is to start with the smallest amount in our data set and see if we find it in each answer choice, okay? And what I'm looking for in the stem and leaf plot, when I'm looking for numbers, is I need to pair a stem with a leaf, okay? So when I pair a stem, remember that's the 10s place, I'm going to put a 6 in the 10s place, and then I have a 1 for a leaf, which is the 1s place. I'm going to put a 1 in the 1s place. So these two paired together make the number 61. Okay. If I move down, that would make the number 70. Okay. But what happens down here in answer choice G when there's nothing for a leaf? That means you pretend like that stem of 7 is not there. And that would be the same thing for the stem of 10. Just pretend like it doesn't exist at all, that it wasn't even on there. Okay, for it to be a number, we have to have a 0 or another digit in the 1s place. If it just has something in the stem column, then we don't use it. Okay, all right, so now let's go back through our data set and find the smallest value. Okay, so it looks like my 60s are the smallest. Okay, and I have 161. Okay, so F has a 61, G has a 61, H has a 61, and J has a 61. Okay, next I don't see any 70s, so that means that I can eliminate answer choice F because F has a 70. Okay, G does not, H does not, oh, J does, so I need to eliminate J as well. Okay, No stems of 7 in our data set. Okay, so now I'm going to move to stems of 8, or 8s in the tens places. Okay, so I have an 85, an 84, an 87, and 82. Okay, out of those, the smallest value is going to be the 82. Okay, so of the 2 answer choices I have left, I need to check and make sure that they have 82s. This one does. I'm going to check mark above it. This one does. Check mark above it. Okay, next smallest value is going to be 84, it looks like. So I have an 84 and I have an 84. Next, an 85, 85 and 85. Next, I have an 87. Okay, and that is all for my stems of 8. So now for my stems of 9, I have a 94, a 96, a 96, and a 98. Smallest value is the 94, so I'm going to start with that one. Okay, here's a 94, here's a 94. Okay, next I have 2 96s. So pay attention to the way this is set up in the stem and leaf plot. Okay, we don't repeat the 9. Okay, we're just connecting it to each one of these. Okay, so that shows that I have 2 96s, and H shows that I have 2 96s. Okay, next I have a 98. G has a 98. H has a 98. And last, I have Houston with 100 degrees. Okay, well, remember a while ago when I was looking at answer choice G, I marked out the stem of 10 because there's no 0 to connect to it. Okay, so that would not exist on this stem and leaf plot. So that makes answer choice G wrong because I need to have a 100 in my table. Okay, answer choice H does have the 100 because I pair a 10 with a 0. When I do that, pair a 10 and put a 0 behind it, that makes the 100 that we need. Okay, so H would be my answer. Okay, number 5. DeMarco wrote 8 95/100ths in expanded notation as shown here, which shows another way to express the value of the 9 in this number. Okay, well, if I label this with my TH, T for the tenths place, H for the hundredths place, that tells me that I need to represent 9/10. Okay, well, if I'm looking down here, and you can also use the decimal as kind of a placeholder, you can see that I need a 9 right after the decimal. Okay, well, here's the decimal in A. The 9 is 3 places behind the decimal. We don't want that. In B, the 9 is 2 places behind the decimal. This is the hundredths place. We don't want that. We need it in the tenths place. For answer choice C, there we go. The 9 is the first place after the decimal, which is the tenths place. Okay, put a question mark there. I'm going to come back to it. And in D, the 9 is not even behind the decimal point. It's in front in the tens place. Okay, that makes that incorrect. So our best answer is C. Okay, last but not least, number 6. I'll slide my paper over here so I have room. Okay, Mateo and Katya each walked into a video arcade with $9.50 in quarters. After they played video games for an hour, Katya had $1.75 more than Mateo. Okay, so just by reading that sentence, you can tell that Katya has more than Mateo. Before I even read the question, I can eliminate an answer choice. Okay, Katya has to have more than Mateo. So if you look at answer choice G, G does not show that. It shows Katya having less than Mateo. Okay, so we can eliminate answer choice G. Okay, the question now says, which could be the amounts of money they had then? Okay, so I'm going to use a strip diagram to show you how to solve this problem. Okay, there's my strip. The strip represents the total, okay? And since Katya has more, okay, we're going to use her as the total, okay? Now, Mateo has less than she does. She has $1.75 more than he does. So this is his piece. and here's that extra $1.75, okay? She has more than he does by this much, okay? So this piece is smaller than the entire thing. That means his is less than hers. She has more than he does, okay? So now, once I set this up, we can see that I need to take the total and I need to take out Mateo's amount to find out if it equals that $1.75. And the way that I do that in math is I subtract it, okay? So I need to take Katya's amount and subtract Mateo's amount to see if I get that $1.75, okay? So looking at answer choice F, I can tell using my number sense, $9.50 is a lot larger than $1.75. The difference between those two is a lot greater than $1.75. What this is saying is that Mateo has $1.75, and that's not what the question says. Okay, so F could not be my answer. Okay, now on to letter H. All right, so Katya has $5.75, so I'm going to subtract, starting with Katya's number on top, because it's the larger number, and subtracting Mateo's $3. 5 minus 0 is 5. 7 minus 0 is 7. Bring down your decimal. And 5 minus 3 is 275. So you can see the difference is not that 175. Okay, so it can't be answer choice H. Okay, so before you just choose, you make sure that you solve it, because you could have made an error somewhere else, and solving this one would help you recognize if you did something wrong. So make sure you solve all of the answer choices. Okay, so I'm going to start this time with $4 for Katya and subtract $2.25 from it. Okay, 0 minus 5. If I have 0 jelly beans, I can't give you 5 of them. So I've got to go all the way over here to the ones place and borrow. That leaves 3 there. I'm going to bring it over here. That makes 10, but this is not going to stay 10. I've got to change it to a 9 because I got to send it over here to the ones place, and that will be 10. Okay, now I can subtract. 10 minus 5 is 5. 9 minus 2 is 7. Bring down your decimal. And 3 minus 2 is 1. And there it is. There's the difference of $1.75. So J was your answer. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good day.